I love when the IceHogs win.
Hell yeah.
Welcome to From Center Ice, the podcast. This is Courtney.
I'm Jacqueline.
And we have even more nonsense to talk about this week, but before we jump into that, we do have our housekeeping. We have an email address, vfcenterice@gmail.com, if you would like to get in touch with us. Or you could follow us on Twitter at vfcentericepod or Instagram at FromCenterIcePod. And we'd appreciate it if you could subscribe to From Center Ice on iTunes and shoot us a rating. Even if you don't listen to your podcasts on there, it does help us grow and get the word out. And another great way to do that is by sharing the podcast with your friends.
Tell them about us.
Yeah, make them like hockey through us if they don't like hockey.
Great. We have that power.
Exactly. It's a superpower we possess.
That's what we got.
Yeah. From Center Ice is a Rockford Buzz production. Rockford Buzz is an online resource for the community featuring a calendar of events, local business directory, positive news stories, and more. Just search Rockford Buzz on the Google Play Store or Apple App Store and follow along on Instagram and Facebook. So last week,
some shit.
We ended on me saying, let's hope that this next week goes smoothly and nothing bad happens.
And then 20 minutes later...
yeah, more news broke. But before we get to that, we will finish the Babcock tirade because more about him came out today.
A lot more.
Yeah. So, Chris Chelios was on the Spittin' Chicklets podcast. And Chelios was part of the Blackhawks organization. He went to Detroit and won a cup there, and then he worked for him for a bit, and now he works with the Hawks again. So he was around Detroit when Babcock was there.
Correct.
So he was asked by the guys on the podcast if he had witnessed any of Babcock's antics firsthand, and he mentioned that he verbally assaulted Johan Franzen, were his words.
Yep.
And if somebody the likes of Chris Chelios uses a phrase like that, you don't take that lightly.
No.
So, that dropped this morning. I don't know when the podcast came out, but that's when I saw it hit Twitter.
Yeah.
It was this morning. And originally, I wasn't going to bring it up on this week's podcast because I hadn't seen anything confirmed. And obviously, you want to believe Chris Chelios, but, yes. Stories and more sides and all that nonsense. But as the day went on, Johan Franzen talked to a Swedish media outlet because he is Swedish, and he confirmed the story. And I will read that article now because they posted an English translation to it.
How nice.
Yeah, it was all in Swedish, and so I hit, the translate button, and I was like, none of this makes sense.
Very rough translation.
Yeah, so I'm glad that they did this for us, English-only speaking people. So, this is from an outlet called Expressin.
Okay.
I don't know if I'm saying that right. Probably not. But, yes. So this is their article. I don't know if it says who wrote it. I don't know if that's the person or that is. I don't know. It's from this website from Sweden. So, the accusations against former Toronto Maple Leafs coach Mike Babcock keep growing. After the former Stanley Cup winning coach was fired by the Leafs on November 20th, a number of former players have come forward to reveal experiences of Babcock's oppressive leadership. 2 weeks ago, retired NHL player Mike Commodore tweeted, "Hey, Mike Babcock, simply put, your players quit on you. They quit on you because you are a terrible human being. You are an average coach with an extremely oversized ego. You finally got exactly what you deserve. The hockey world is ecstatic." Former Red Wings defenseman Chris Chelios said during a recent appearance on the Spittin' Chicklets podcast that Babcock verbally assaulted Johan Franzen during the 2012 Stanley Cup playoffs when the Red Wings faced the Nashville Predators, causing Franzen to have a nervous breakdown. And then it goes on to where they talk to Franzen and In an interview with Swedish newspaper Expressen, Franzen now talks about the incident and reveals the mind games Babcock used against him. I get the shivers when I think about it. That incident occurred against Nashville in the playoffs. It was coarse, nasty, and shocking. But that was just one of the 100 things he did, the tip of the iceberg. How would you describe Babcock as a coach and as a person? And then Franzen says, as a coach, he is extremely meticulous and well-prepared. He is very good at putting a team together and getting everyone to buy into it. That's his strong side. But then, he's a terrible person, the worst I have ever met. He's a bully who is attacking people. It could be a cleaner at the arena in Detroit or anybody. He would lay into people without any reason.
Eesh.
Yeah. And then they asked, do you remember when it started? And Franzen said, he would lay into a couple of the other players, the nice team players, the guys who don't say very much. When they left the team, he went on to focus on me. It was verbal attacks. He said horrible things. From 2011 on, I was terrified of being at the rink. That's when he got on me the first time. I just focused on getting out of bed every morning from that moment. Last year, I could sleep naturally for the first time since then. The nightmares keep coming back. It was just his attacks playing in my head each and every day, but I got help managing those obsessions during 3 weeks at a center in Colorado last year. It was me and a group of veterans who also suffer from concussions and PTSD. To Franzen, Babcock is something of a Jekyll and Hyde person. He was a specialist at handling the media. He creates teams that are very hard to beat. You can't take that away from him, but he makes his players very anxious. They're scared to death of making mistakes, and his teams rarely get past the first round in the playoffs.
Jeez.
Yeah.
You can't take that lightly.
No.
And you know that there's those guys out there that are like, oh, if it was old-time hockey, this is just these snowflakes whining and crying about being yelled at, blah, blah, blah.
You can't...
Chris freaking Chelios.
You don't get much tougher than Chris Chelios and even Johan Franzen.
Right. Like, this is obviously not something to take lightly.
No.
It was serious.
Yeah, and Franzen was suffering from concussions at the time and depression. And yeah, he wasn't vocal about it then, but still.
That's not the point.
Yeah, you never know what someone's going through, and I don't know. You should never be verbally assaulting anybody anyways.
Right.
But you also don't know what they're going through or what they could cause, and Babcock and all of his bullshit caused Franzen to go through PTSD. Like, that's so fucked up.
Insane.
So messed up. I just find it very hard to believe, but also not hard to believe that he would get a coaching job again in the NHL.
That would be disgusting at this point.
Yeah.
I can't imagine any team buying into him after everything that's come out.
I could see him going on a media circuit over the summer and being like, this is what I've learned, and I messed up and all this, and then getting hired again.
How about you just take your money and disappear? Like,
seriously, you're still getting paid $6 million by the Leafs.
You'll be fine. You don't need to be here anymore.
Yeah.
I think we're done with you.
It's even more ridiculous. I mean, outside of his BS text apology last week, he just hasn't said anything.
Nah. I mean,
I don't really know what there is to say, but I don't know. It's weird at the same time, you know?
It is. Because normally people will instinctively come to their own defense.
Right.
But I'm sure he's got lawyers and everything that are telling him...
Oh, I'm sure.
What not to say.
I'm sure he's got the best of the best around him. I don't know. And then reports have come out that Holland, the Detroit GM at the time, would stick up for him.
Yeah, and protected him.
Yeah, when the veterans would come and complain to him about the coaching, and he said they could just ask for a trade.
Oh my god, at that point?
Yeah.
Wow.
It's just beyond messed up, and I feel like every day, or even every morning, I just get on Twitter, I open up my computer, I'm like, okay, what's the hockey news today? Blah, blah, blah. How are these players doing? And it's just one more upsetting story after another. Man. And I mean, it's good that all of this is coming out now.
Oh, for sure.
It's just crazy the depths that it goes to.
Yes.
It'll be interesting to see the next stories that come out about coaches or anybody else in organizations
Yeah, because I'm sure he's not the only one.
No. No, not at all.
No.
Speaking of not being the only one,
Woo!
so like you said, 20 minutes, I don't even know if it was that long. It was basically like right after we hit the
We stopped recording, I went to the bathroom, I came back down, I checked my phone.
Yes, and it was
said,
blowing
up.
Yeah, and I'm kind of glad that it happened after we stopped recording because so much more came out after that.
Yeah.
So we would have only really gotten the tweets that ignited it.
Mm-hmm.
So, how it started when you came back downstairs from going upstairs, Akeem Alou, who was a Blackhawks prospect, he played for Rockford his rookie season.
Mm-hmm.
He went on Twitter and said, "Not very surprising the things we're hearing about Babcock. Apple doesn't fall far from the tree. Same sort of deal with his protege in YYC. Dropped the N-bomb several times towards me in the dressing room in my rookie year because he didn't like my choice of music. First to admit I rebelled against him. Wouldn't you? And instead of remedying the situation, he wrote a letter to John McDonough and Stan Bowman to have me sent down to the ECHL. 20-year-old on pace for 20 goals in his first pro career with 0 power play or penalty kill time, was off to a great start in his pro career." So after that, I was like, uh-oh.
Mm-hmm.
What did our front office do?
Right.
But it came out that nobody went to management to tell them about what happened. A couple of the players, at least the captain, went to Bill Peters.
That was
Jake
Dowell
Dowell
at the time.
Went to Peters, and obviously we're never going to know what he said to him, but
Right.
he confronted him. Akeem Alou says that he didn't apologize to him. Peters put out a statement later that I'll read saying that he did, so it's a little murky there, but there are teammates from that season who corroborate Akeem Alou's story,
Mm-hmm.
and I believe it happening, and stuff that has come out about Peters after that also doesn't paint him in a good picture at all. So,
The things that he has been quoted to have said
yeah.
are beyond repulsive.
Mm-hmm. I don't want to repeat it. You can look it up if you want to see
we're not reading them here.
what has happened. Even censoring it, I don't want to go through the quotes. But there were many emotions that flooded through my head when these tweets were tweeted.
Mm-hmm.
The first one was, wow, that's terrible that this happened like less than 10 years ago.
Yeah, it was 10 years ago because it was the
10 years ago?
09, 010. 09-010 season.
Oh yeah, so it was exactly
Right
10
here
years
in
ago.
Rockford.
Right here in Rockford.
At our good old... Was it the Metro Center
Yeah,
at the
it was
time?
the Metro Center.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not like we're talking about a team from like the 70s
No.
or
This
the
was
80s.
a decade ago.
Even then, it wasn't okay. And
We were in high school.
Yeah. So, he knew better.
Oh, yes.
To say things like that.
Absolutely.
It should not be acceptable.
No.
He's not the only one to do it, which is even
Disgusting.
worse. So, yeah. After all of the outrage over this just even happening to a player of color in the American League,
Mm-hmm.
I was like, that's my team.
Right. Yes.
And so an even deeper level of disappointment sets in.
Mm-hmm.
Like, my team employed this guy.
Yeah.
Who said terrible things to our players, and I'm sure he's said worse things to other people. It's not like that just flies out of your mouth on a one-off thing.
That's not an accident.
No. Yeah, so after it was confirmed that nobody told Stan and McDonough what had actually happened, I was like, okay, that's a little better for the organization.
Right.
Because he obviously wasn't fired for it. But he was sent down to the East Coast League. So Peters obviously didn't like him standing up to him, and as he admitted to rebelling against him, I mean, As he said, wouldn't you? Like,
yes.
Yes, I would.
Absolutely.
So that is just a completely unfortunate situation all around. And then what transpired from that were more people talking about Bill Peters. And we have a player who played for the Hurricanes under Bill Peters before he stopped coaching in Carolina. And it is, I believe it's Michael. Michael Jordan, not Mikhail. I don't know. He's Czech, so
yeah.
who knows? But he said, "Never wish anything bad to the person, but you get what you deserve, Bill. After years making it to the NHL,
yeah, that's what it says.
To the NHL, had experience with the worst coach ever by far, kicking me and punching other player to the head during the game, then pretending like nothing happened. Couldn't believe my eyes at what can happen in the best league. Happy that I don't have to go through that stuff on daily basis anymore." There were a couple typos in there. I tried to edit them out as I was reading.
Like you said, he's Czech. English isn't first language.
Yeah. So it just snowballed, obviously.
Yeah.
And we learned that he is even more of a piece of shit than we originally thought.
You can't physically assault your players.
So not only is he a racist,
Uh-huh.
he is physically assaulting his players.
During games.
And it's not just something that this player decided to complain about. Rod Brindamore, the current coach of the Hurricanes, also a very well-respected hockey player from his time, came out and confirmed it, saying it absolutely happened. So there's that. And it happened to not only Jordan, but other players as well on the team. Obviously, that's up to them to come out and say it. I don't believe we have any names. If we do, I missed it. Yeah. And Bill Peters was coaching in Calgary when all of this came out. They, for lack of a better term, suspended him while they were investigating, and then they accepted a letter of resignation. And
Eternal eye roll.
Yeah. He is no longer the coach of the Calgary Flames. I'm assuming the resignation has something to do with laws and employment.
Oh, for sure. It just, me in my little head, it's gross to me that they didn't just fire him.
Oh, yeah. It sounds like they just let him walk away.
Yes, on his own terms.
Yeah.
Which is not the way that I would have wanted it to happen.
And it's also obviously not the case, because who just resigns from coaching in the NHL unless you have like a severe medical or family problem.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It was a bad look for Calgary that it took so long. I get it. They have to go through.
It took like 3 days for their investigation, didn't it?
They have to go through the whole legal process. I get it. It doesn't look good. I'm glad that they yanked him off the bench immediately, though.
Yeah. He wasn't even at the practice the next morning.
Right. And everybody was like, he's fired! So the writing was on the wall, but it did take a while. And after he, quote-unquote, resigned, the NHL made a statement that they're still investigating. I'm not really sure what that means.
Right,
I know that they're meeting with Akeem and probably other players, but I don't know what
more could come from it.
Yeah, I don't really know what could come from that unless they can suspend somebody indefinitely from coaching. I don't know if that's a thing, or if you're pretty much just blacklisted. I don't really know, which I assume he probably is by now, since nobody has a good thing to say about the guy. Yeah.
What a mess, dude. Like,
yeah.
Ew.
Yeah. So then it just kept going. So this was a tweet from Jeff Baker on November 27th. Said, former Carolina Hurricanes owner Carmanos says he'd have fired Coach Bill Peters in a nanosecond had GM Ron Francis told him of player abuse allegations. Francis, now with NHL Seattle, has yet to comment. So it really just keeps getting dug deeper. So people said they went to the GM. I believe players went to the GM, who was Ron Francis at the time. to tell them about what happened. And then the former owner says that he would have fired him had the GM gone to him. But then it was either today or yesterday. It's all getting mixed up at this point.
Yeah.
I believe Francis made a comment saying that he did tell ownership.
Mm-hmm.
And then Karmanos released another statement kind of walking that back and saying that Francis wasn't a great communicator, but it was all handled internally. So they're all just trying to cover their asses at this point.
Absolutely.
And unfortunately, nothing else can really be done.
No.
Other than him just not getting another job in hockey, or at least in the NHL. Who knows if a team in Europe or whatever would hire him. But, yeah. So that was a thing. And here's Bill Peters' statement. So, I will read this, and I will try to keep my comments to a minimum to get through this as quickly as possible.
Alright, we'll bite my tongue.
We'll see. Alright. November 27th.
You can read that?
Yeah.
Oh my god, that's so tiny. Okay, I'm sorry.
It was addressed to Brad Treliving, the GM of the Calgary Flames. So, Brad, please accept this as a sincere apology to you and the entire Calgary Flames organization for offensive language I used in a professional setting a decade ago. Full stop. By using that phrase a decade ago, you're distancing yourself from the problem.
You fucking said it, dude. And offensive language?
Offensive language.
That's what you want to call it?
Yeah.
Okay.
The most offensive thing you could say to somebody.
Okay. All right.
But he said it a decade ago.
So it obviously doesn't matter.
Correct.
No, this was so long ago.
It was so long ago.
So long ago.
So long ago. 2010. Oh my gosh. All right. I know that my comments have been the source of both anger and disappointment, and I understand why. Although it was an isolated and immediately regrettable incident, I take responsibility for what I said. The statement was made in a moment of frustration and does not reflect my personal values. Again, full stop. I have never, and as angry as I have ever been, used that word.
No!
Ever!
You don't say it unless you're comfortable saying it in private.
Exactly.
That's full stop.
It doesn't come out in anger.
No.
Unless you have said it before.
Yes.
Are comfortable saying it like you said.
Exactly.
It just doesn't come out.
It's just not part of your vocabulary unless you say it.
Exactly.
It's not something that just happens.
Right.
Like, okay, I'm not even going to get into it. Finish it. Finish him.
Finish him. Where was I? There it is. After the incident, I was rightfully challenged about my use of language, and I immediately returned to the dressing room to apologize to the team, which they said he didn't.
Mm-hmm.
I have regretted the incident since it happened, and I now also apologize to anyone negatively affected by my words. Still refusing to name the player that he was saying this to. I am aware that there is no excuse for language that is offensive. I meant no disrespect in what I said, and it was not directed at anyone in particular.
There's one person of color in the room, really? Really?
But that doesn't matter. It was hurtful and demeaning. I am truly sorry. I accept the reality of my actions. I do believe that we must strive to act with integrity and to take accountability for what we say and do. This letter is intended to do exactly that. I hope it is accepted as intended. I appreciate the thorough review of this situation being undertaken by the Flames. It's the right thing to do, and I support it fully.
Sure you do. Sure you do, buddy.
First of all, that was written by a very good lawyer.
You didn't write that, bro.
Second of all, if we're to act with integrity, we don't call people the N-word. We don't punch people in the head or kick them on the bench.
Oh my god.
To be fair, this came out before the abuse allegations, I believe.
I think that's the case. You meant no disrespect.
No disrespect.
No disrespect. By using the most disrespectful word, basically in the human language.
Calling the music that Alu was listening to in shit.
Mm-hmm. Multiple times.
And
then doubling down.
Yes.
After confronted.
Not apologizing, which he says he did. The players say he didn't.
I believe the players.
Yes.
There's multiple players that have.
Why would you believe this guy at all at this point?
Hell no. Hell no.
He's trying to cover his ass, which, I mean, anybody would, so I'm not faulting him for that part of it, because anybody would. But you have to just own up to what you did.
Right. You're saying, yeah, I said it. Okay, so take full responsibility.
Right.
Don't try to make excuses.
10 years ago.
Right. No, that's bullshit. You said it. It happened. You said it at someone. You said it
to a particular player, even though you said you didn't say it to anybody
bullshit.
In particular. You don't name said player.
Say that.
No.
Like, you don't, just...
I generally call rooms full of people the N-word.
God, like, what is
in
he
the
thinking?
Singular.
Like, right. Like, what are you thinking? What are you thinking to release this letter and expect it to be well received?
No. He doesn't say why it's offensive or disrespectful. Doesn't cover that. I don't know who his lawyer is. Or if they've ever been coached in crisis PR, but I would not have written it this way.
Absolute joke. They're writing it off. They're brushing it off.
Oh yeah, it happened 10 years ago.
God, it hurts me. Like,
yeah. So this was 10 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
The Calgary incidents were a lot closer in time to the present.
Much more recent.
So, without all of this coming out before, I don't believe that he has ever tried to change or taken the initiative to change his behavior.
Mm-mm.
Because if it followed him from one team to another,
right,
and nothing ever came out about it before, he'd have no reason to. He remained employed by the Hurricanes after this came out, went to the GM, went to the owner, and then he was hired by Calgary. You'd have to imagine they would talk to his ex-employers.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, Bill Peters is a piece of shit.
Absolutely. And the people that say Akeem waited 10 years to come out with this, he's mad because he didn't make it in the NHL. He's looking for somebody to blame, blah, blah, blah.
He couldn't come out about this before because he still had the opportunity to make it in the league. Yeah.
Like, he could blacklist you, and he did. He sent him down to the ECHL, like...
After having a good rookie season.
Right.
And he would have had the chance to move on and develop had he not been sent down.
People will look for any reason to discredit people of color.
Yeah. People of color, players of color, however you want to refer to hockey players. They already have a hell of a time making it in the league.
What is it, like a 93% white league?
I believe so, yeah. If nothing happened to the coach before, why would you risk your career?
Exactly.
Who's gonna believe you?
Exactly. And if these other players hadn't corroborated his story...
Right. People probably wouldn't believe him.
No, people still don't. They will look for
people still don't.
Any reason.
They say that he has an attitude problem because
would you not if you had been...
Not only that, but he refused to go through a hazing incident in junior, so then he was labeled a troublemaker because he just didn't go along with it.
First of all, he was a minor.
Yes.
Second of all, they wanted him to get naked on a bus? Is that what it was with the rest of the players?
The rest of the rookies and stand in the
bathroom of the bus?
Yeah.
Yeah, no.
No.
That's...
So he refuses to do that.
So many lines.
Labeled as a troublemaker with an attitude problem. Comes to the American League. Is spoken to like this by his coach. And
for playing hip-hop music in the locker room.
Oh, God forbid.
How dare he?
And then he, like he admitted to, he rebelled against the coach. Because he's being treated like shit.
Right.
gets sent down to the ECHL. So obviously a rookie having a great season gets sent to the ECHL. Why would that happen? Oh, he must be a problem.
Funny how you can just be labeled that and just totally written off forever.
Yeah. It's so funny that another player who is also considered a problem is PK Subban.
Oh, what?
I can't find the similarities between the two players.
What could they possibly have in common?
I don't know. Except PK was lucky enough to be able to develop his talents and actually produce, and so he stuck around in the NHL, but Montreal sure was happy to ship him out. And how about Evander Kane? I hear he's a problem in the locker room, too.
I've also heard this. Wow.
It's so weird how that happens.
Wow, what are the odds?
I know, right? What about Josh Hosang?
What?
Huh.
Man.
All of these troublemakers.
How dare they?
All these troublemakers. But let's just totally forget Ryan O'Reilly driving into a Tim Hortons drunk and totaling his car. Or Claude Giroux assaulting a police officer. Or Kane's cab incident, or Madison incident, or the allegations out of Buffalo, or, like, do I need to keep going?
You might.
It's ridiculous. Oh, Semyon Varlamov kidnapping and abusing his wife.
Jesus, yeah.
He's playing on the island right now. That was just completely written off.
God, I hope he's not playing when we go there in a couple weeks.
Me too. Thankfully, they took initiative against Voinov, and he's not in the league after beating his wife.
Yeah.
Bobby Hull's an ambassador for the Blackhawks.
Still.
Wife beater.
Racist.
Hitler sympathizer. Alcoholic. You know.
God.
I can't seem to find what all of these non-troublemakers have in common.
No.
It's weird.
They're fine.
They're fine. They're not problems.
No.
Huh.
Why would you even
I
suggest
don't know.
such a thing?
I really don't know.
Fucking joke.
Yeah. So, the latest and last statement we heard from Akeem Alu was, I have read the statement of Bill Peters, which I found to be misleading, insincere, and concerning. I have accepted an invitation from the NHL to meet and discuss the situation. Out of respect for that process, I will not respond publicly to the statement or discuss the racism and discrimination that I have endured until after my meeting. So, that should be interesting to see how that goes. I'm sure the NHL will try to get rid of the problem as soon as possible because Gary Bettman is a lawyer, and so that is his job to defend the owners and the GMs and the league in general, and this league can't have any sort of problems like that. This league isn't racist. Are you kidding me?
No, squeaky clean.
Are you kidding me?
Squeaky clean.
Yeah. So that wasn't the end of it. We have another
Of course not.
ex-NHLer coming to speak out against Bill Peters, and it's Yuri Tlusty. Yuri Tlusty. Gosh. He is also a well-respected veteran of the NHL. About Bill Peters. He's arrogant. Wish players don't have to meet that man again. He's not going to change. There were more stuff like that in Carolina. Kicking into Michael Jordan's back, that's acting like a rat. So, yeah, there's that. And then we move on to another coach. And that coach is currently employed by the Blackhawks.
Great.
Our assistant coach, Marc Crawford.
Yep.
So Sean Avery came out and said that while he was playing for the Kings, that Crawford kicked him on the bench. And the stuff that Marc Crawford has done isn't a secret. Mm-hmm. So it was known that he's been a piece of shit in his past. Apparently he's changed and is a new man.
Don't they all?
I don't buy it, but this one wasn't as out of the blue as the other two were, because a lot of people were very against the hiring when the Hawks hired him, but apparently they weren't. They just decided to look past that as the team that
they are
keeps bringing Bobby Hull around. Yeah. This one was kind of sad because nobody respects Sean Avery because he, I mean, isn't the most respectable person, but I saw a lot of he should have done worse to him, or he
Ew.
deserved it, or he should have
Come
kicked him in the
on.
head. Like, no.
Come on.
Assault is not okay. It doesn't matter what the other person has done. Assault is not okay.
Unless you're on the ice and the other person consents to the fight.
Yeah. Hockey.
Exactly.
Oh, why do we like this sport?
Oh, it breaks my heart.
Oh my gosh. So, yeah, that came out and then it kind of died, which doesn't surprise me because the Blackhawks kill everything.
Yeah, they do. They're like a candle snuffer.
They
Just
sure
like,
are.
whoop, there it goes.
John McDonough said you said something bad. Whoop.
Goodbye.
I would not be no, I won't even go there.
Don't.
And put things out into the universe.
No.
Yeah, so we haven't heard anything else about this one. I'm sure more will come out about it, but as of right now, we have not heard more on the matter about Marc Crawford. I doubt we will, like I said, and I doubt the Hawks will do anything unless something along the lines of the Bill Peters thing or Babcock comes out where there's multiple players. I don't know. I'd be fine with it. Get them all out.
Please.
And I see people on
the
Twitter.
sport.
They're like, there's gonna be nobody left to coach in the NHL.
Maybe?
What?
Maybe that's good.
Are you kidding me?
That we get rid of all of the bad ones?
You'd rather have racists and people being physically assaulted?
People that can separate the person and their actions from the sport. I can't relate.
No. These are real people. At the end of the day, these are real people being paid to entertain us.
Yes.
They do not
Sports are entertainment.
deserve to be assaulted.
They are not.
They do not deserve to be demeaned. They do not deserve racial remarks thrown at them, which every single player of color has had to endure from
doubt.
juniors until the NHL and beyond,
And
whether it be from
everywhere
coaches,
in between.
from upper management, from fans, from their own teammates.
Right.
It has come from everybody. We have seen it multiple times. We've seen it multiple times in like the past
Couple of
calendar
seasons.
year
Yeah.
from fans taunting players in the penalty box. I think Evander Kane got it, Devontae Smith-Pelly. I'm sure there's more. I believe Subban got it as well.
I wouldn't be surprised. I'm sure he has. I know he has.
Yeah. It's ridiculous.
I can't even say
Why
I can't
does
believe
it matter? Why does it matter?
I don't understand the way that racists think.
Why does it matter?
It's literally just more melanin in the skin.
It is the color of skin. It's the color of skin! Why does that matter? Why does that matter?
It's insane.
It's like saying you're a bad hockey player because you have blue eyes.
Oh no.
What?
Oh no.
What?
Yeah, no, there's no basis.
No!
It's completely baseless.
Not at all. Oh, you don't deserve to have rights because you have blue eyes. Sorry. Sorry.
Man.
It's bullshit.
Yeah.
Why is this allowed to keep going? Why?
Because it's going to take a while to get all of the old racist white guys to not be the top guys that just protect each other.
They're gonna have to die.
Yes.
That's
like it's a generational thing.
Why? What? How did this even start? I mean,
slavery.
Yes. I'm sure it was alive and well before then. Like, if you really want to get down to the nitty-gritty and tell me how this started, yes. Why? Why does it matter?
It doesn't, but it does to some people, and they need to...
People are people. People are people. Cultures are beautiful. Everybody has their own culture. I don't care where you come from.
Right.
If you want to... People from Ireland, a lot of them are white.
Yeah.
They're cool. People from the U.S. aren't super cool, but Canadians are pretty cool, except Bill Peters and Babcock. I mean, it's not just... You don't have to be a different color to have a different culture, yet somehow, just because you have a different color skin, your culture sucks. But all the other white cultures, they're fine.
They're fine, yeah.
They're fine.
What I don't understand is why you would want to keep an entire race, culture, whatever you want to call it, out of a sport.
Because the preconceived notions that come along with that color of skin! Color of skin! That is it!
Yes.
It's all bias and prejudice and bullshit, and they think that, it'll taint the sport.
Yes. That is the disgusting things
your
that people
disgusting, racist, homophobic, xenophobic views hurt the sport, not people of color being in the league.
Right.
Or being in front office. God forbid somebody be in management. Don't give them a
position of power.
Jesus. It's so beyond messed up. It's so beyond messed up.
How do we fix it?
I don't know, and I wish I did.
Yep.
I really wish I knew how to fix it.
But honestly, this whole Bill Peters thing, I don't feel like it would have been as big of a deal as it was made to be now if it had come out maybe 5 years ago.
Oh, God, no.
Just the fact that the fan bases and just hockey fans in general, the smart ones anyway,
few and far between.
Right. Had so much to express in the way of disgust about this.
Yeah.
And if they hadn't pushed management and just shown how much
like you're
this
talking
is unacceptable.
About, it's a generational thing, and as the years go on, fan base is obviously going to get younger and younger and younger, and people, the smart ones these days, won't stand for this.
No, it's unacceptable.
Not okay.
Exactly.
And while social media might be the cause of many a headache for me and everybody else, it also has its good moments where players can feel comfortable coming out on Twitter about anything.
Absolutely.
And yeah, some of it might be BS because there are bad people who try to make false allegations about stuff, but the players who have actual stories to tell, they can have this space where people who identify with them or will listen to them can be there as a sounding board and cause a ruckus. Like the squeaky wheel gets attention, right?
Absolutely.
So, I don't know. It's a good thing we have Twitter and all of this, and it's a good thing media is getting younger. Like the journalists and all of that. Like, imagine if we had a whole bunch of Don Cherries writing about this.
No, thank you.
Bill Peters would be the next god of the hockey
Exactly,
world.
Yeah. He would be their savior.
Yeah. So
it's everything that they want the sport to be.
It's getting better. I feel like even the older hockey fans are more willing to adjust their viewpoints and change. Not all of them. The smart ones.
Some of them.
The smart ones, we are operating on pretense that we are talking about the smart ones and not the idiots of the group. So if you feel offended by this, maybe you are not one of the smart ones. But I feel...
If you're racist, you're not smart. It's that simple.
I mean, yeah.
I
we could just end the podcast.
I don't feel bad saying that.
And you're not wrong. But I feel like people are willing to be more open because there is more education these days. Mm-hmm. People of color or any minority group have a platform where they can talk about their experiences, which leads to more education and to, you know, why they shouldn't be discriminated because of who they are.
You know, it's that simple.
I mean, I don't know. Things are getting better.
Things
are not
baby steps.
Good, but they are getting better. And the more that comes out about what different coaches around the league have done, the better.
Absolutely. Purge the sport of all of the bullshit.
That should be the next Purge movie.
Hell yeah. Just center it around the NHL.
Oh my god. That would be such a B movie. Any horror movie about hockey just has to be a B movie.
They've got knives on their feet. I mean...
They do. They do. What did you say?
Kick him.
Lift up your ear.
Kick him right in the throat.
Kick him in the throat. Ah, blood spatter.
How did we take this turn?
I have no idea. We went from racist to killing, so.
Well.
It happens.
Alright, what's next?
The head athletic trainer for the Swift Current Broncos was fired today because of derogatory comments and threatening behavior.
I haven't seen this.
Yes, so it's gotten down to the junior levels too, which is
Hell
good.
yeah.
Gotta start from the bottom.
Sport. Absolutely.
Sometimes you gotta start at the top, but in this case, sometimes you gotta start at the bottom.
Hey, just hit it from all angles.
Yes. Yes. I mean, if you start in juniors, it'll work its way up. You get rid of all of the bad coaches at the junior level. They're going to get promoted at some point. Then they'll be in the American League. Yeah. And then they'll get promoted to the NHL once all of the other trash gets eliminated. So we're on the right path here. I won't read the whole statement, but good on Swift Current for taking action there.
Yes.
I think that ends the discussion of the trash coaches of the league.
Good, because I am exhausted.
Yeah, I thought we wouldn't have to do this again this week.
I'm begging us to not have to do this again next week.
Yep. Unless somebody else gets called out and fired, then I will sit here and talk about it. Yes. But we don't really go on to any better news. So this tweet is from Michael Russo from November 28th, so last Thursday. Mm-hmm. Minnesota Wild goalie Devin Dubnyk, during an emotional press scrum, says his wife Jennifer is dealing with some serious medical issues right now. They're still foggy as to what's going on, but it's been a scary week that started the night he returned from Buffalo. So we just hope the best for the Dubnyk family. Mm-hmm. I hope she's okay. They said that he was going to sit down with the coach to kind of come up with a plan for his playing because they were going on a road trip. So I don't know what they figured out. I didn't look into it. But we hope the best for him and his wife.
Absolutely.
And then we move on to finally some sort of positive news from New York Rangers Stats and Info. According to NHL Stats and Information, Artemi Panarin is the first Ranger who has registered 23 or more points in the month of November in franchise history.
Well, damn.
I know. That's pretty crazy.
Get it, bread man.
Yeah. And then on more history being made, the most goals through December 1st in NHL history, David Pastrnak is finally on that list. He's, let's see.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8th?
Yep, he is 8th with 25 goals already on the season. He's behind Wayne Gretzky, Mario Lemieux, Bernie Nichols, Brett Hull, Mike Bosty, and Steve Shutt.
That is a hell of a list.
Yeah, he is in some good company there.
Yeah.
And then more news that came through this morning is Keith Kincaid is on waivers in Montreal.
Interesting.
Yes. And Montreal has not been having a good season. You can't blame their backup goalie, but it's not like you can waive Carey Price with his $10 million contract.
No.
And so I was doing a little think when I saw this come through.
You did a little think?
I did a little think.
It's good to do a little think sometimes.
Yeah, it is. And I put this here on the list because it kind of leads into the next section.
Okay.
And I think
transition.
Toronto should take a look at him.
Ooh!
Because they keep putting Michael Hutchinson out there. And while he has not been given the best opportunity this season because he was playing under Mike Babcock and only getting the second half of back-to-backs, and that's it. He's just not been good.
Yeah.
And it's probably not all his fault, but he hasn't redeemed himself in the slightest. And while Keith Kincaid has had a down year this year, he is 1-1-3 and has an .875 save percentage. Yeah, over his whole career, he's a .905 with a .295 goals against average. And as a backup goalie, that's terrible.
No.
He did have some good years in New Jersey. Last year, obviously, they drafted first overall, so they were not good at all, and he had a .891 with a 336 goals against average. But before that, he was a 913, 916, 904, 915. And if Toronto was getting league average goaltending from their backup, they would be doing a lot better.
Yeah.
So I think they should take a look at him. I believe it would take a trade to get it done because he is on waivers, but his cap hit is over $1 million. Mm-hmm. And Toronto just has absolutely less than 0 cap space.
Yeah, they do.
So they would have to trade somebody, but it would be worth it at this point because you can't play Freddie 82 games in a season.
You'd think they would have learned this.
Every other year that he's been in Toronto?
Yes.
Yeah, no, they haven't. They waived McElhinney, who was their best backup.
They're gonna regret that forever.
Yes. I saw a tweet the other day. I don't remember when it was or who it was. I didn't save it, but they said it's the year 2030. The Leafs are drafting Austin Matthews' son, and Twitter's still talking about waiving Curtis McElhinney.
I saw that.
It's so real, though.
Oh my god, that's hilarious.
So I think they should take a look at Keith Kincaid.
Who should they trade for him?
Oh gosh. You gotta throw in Hutch, because you
can't hoard all the goalies.
You can't hoard all the goalies. That would get rid of some of the cap space. I don't even really know. Maybe throw in Nick Petan.
Okay.
Give him Cody Ceci.
Woo!
I mean, shit.
You said it.
I did. Not that anybody would touch him with a 10-inch pole.
A 10-inch pole.
10-foot
That's
pole.
less than a ruler.
Yeah, I wouldn't touch him with a 10-inch pole either.
I got a pencil here. I'm not touching anybody with a pencil.
This pencil's mine. Yeah, nobody's taking Cody Ceci.
Good luck, Toronto.
Yeah, but this is why I'm not a GM. Dubas needs to figure this one out, not me.
Oh, you're not taking the GM position this time.
Not on that team. They don't got any cap space. That gives me no fun room. I need fun room.
Fun room to watch the world burn.
Exactly. And then there's good news out of Toronto. Woo! Finally. Mitch Marner is skating again.
That's crazy. Only 3 weeks after a high ankle sprain?
Yeah. He won't be playing tomorrow, but they're hoping within the next few games he will be back on the ice. Mm-hmm. And then when Mitch is back, it seems like Morgan Rielly will slot down to power play 2. Right. And Tyson Barrie will stay on the first unit, which would have been unheard of with Babcock behind the bench.
Oh, yeah.
Because, he wanted Tyson Barrie to not play his game as an offensive defenseman. He wanted him to be a shutdown guy that he's never been in his career.
Make people be the players that they're not. You have to use people to their strengths.
Yeah. It's like trying to make Hjalmarsson into an offensive defenseman.
Oh, that hurts me.
It's just not going to happen.
No. No.
So you can't do it the other way either. They are who they are.
Right.
And you got Tyson Barrie for who he is.
Exactly. Why would you want to change? You obviously went after him for a reason.
Right. And
use him for that reason.
It just shows even more how much of a different page Dubas and Babcock were on.
Right.
It's just crazy. Thankfully, they got rid of that shitbag.
Yes.
And Sheldon Keefe has taken over.
Yeah.
And now we move on to our teams.
The Piggies!
The Piggies. So we had 2 back-to-back games this weekend?
Yes, Friday and Saturday. And they played last week on Tuesday, so that would have been after we recorded. Yes, they played San Antonio.
Yes, and they lost.
Yes, they did.
So we said, okay, Friday, it's the next game. They've been winning every other game. They're gonna win Friday. It's Hockey Fights Cancer Night. They had nice purple jerseys on.
They were beautiful.
They were. They played Chicago, because of course they did, for the 5th time this season already. And they won!
Hell yeah. Undefeated.
They won. They are 5-0 against Chicago on the season.
I love this song.
And it's so beautiful.
It's my favorite.
I really don't know how they've accomplished this.
It's fine. Just let it keep happening.
It definitely took last-minute heroics a couple times.
But it's fine.
Yes. We are 5-0 against Chicago.
Oh, I love it. I love it so much.
Yes.
I love watching the wolves cry.
It's amazing. So Tompkins played on Friday.
Mm-hmm.
And he's been very good this season.
I like watching him play.
He looks solid.
He does.
He's just a solid guy.
You like a solid goalie.
You really like a solid goalie. Like the puck just hits him, you're like, oh, that's a solid noise.
That's a thick save.
That's a thick save. But yeah, he looks like he's in position. Mm-hmm. He made a lot of saves on Friday where he was looking through traffic, and I'm like, how did he grab that?
Right.
Because he's like looking around the guy one way and just smacks it with his hand. Like, your head wasn't even over there. Yeah. I think your head was in the stands and your glove's catching the puck.
He looks comfortable.
He does. And so does Kevin.
In my heart.
So Kevin played Saturday.
Yes.
And they play Grand Rapids.
Grand Rapids, the Griffs.
The Griffins. And we were like, uh-oh.
Every other game, they're going to lose tonight.
They're going to lose this one. But they didn't.
They didn't.
They finally strung 2 wins together.
They did. They got scored on first, and we're like, yeah. Here it goes.
Here it goes. It was such a bad goal, too. So Kevin had it. And then it just trickled in behind his legs.
He thought he had it, but he only had it.
He did not have it. He only had it.
It just slowly, he was just super still.
Yeah.
And it slowly trickled. And Tyler Secura was in there trying so hard to get there in time. And he just couldn't.
I don't know if I was seeing it happen in slow motion or if it was just that slow.
I swear it was that slow. I swear, but Sicky just couldn't get there in time.
I think it was a little bit of both. You know, when something bad's about to happen, you just see it happening in slow motion.
Everything slows down.
Yeah, I think it was a mixture. I was just like, oh no, there goes the puck. But then the puck's just like, oh no, there's the goal line. Oh, I'm crossing it.
Here we go.
And then it didn't seem like the Hogs were ever going to score.
No. And we got our seats upgraded for the second period.
We did. So we got to sit down on the glass, which was exciting.
Hell yeah.
Because my dad was with us this time.
Yeah. In the 2 men in a... What is it called?
2 men in a truck.
2 men in a truck?
Yeah.
I was going to say that, and then I was like, that can't be right. Oh, but it was.
Yes.
It was.
2 men in a truck.
So yeah, we got to sit down in the corner of the glass, down by the backup goalie for the Griffins.
Yeah, by the sad goalie.
Because we keep him out of the rink. And, yeah, it's awesome down there. Like, I kept telling your dad, it sucks sitting on the glass, like, if you're on the sidelines.
You can't see the corners. See.
Everything is so distorted, and there's no way you can know what's going on. But if you're on the corner, you can see everything.
Yeah.
And it's amazing.
It is. I don't know why people sit just, like, at center ice on the glass. No. How do you see? Like, yeah, it's cool when they're in front of you and maybe off to the side
like,
a little
ooh, bit. Yeah.
But then you have glass distortion. You can't see the corners.
Exactly. No, but it was a bad period.
Yeah.
It was real bad.
They couldn't keep possession. No. They had a few power plays.
Right. The corner we were on was the Griffins goalie.
Yes.
So
it was where we were shooting.
We were like, yeah, they're gonna, if they score, we're like right there. And they weren't doing it.
They had so many opportunities with the power plays, but they didn't have chances on the power plays because they couldn't keep possession.
They kept losing it.
It just kept going down the other way. And I want to see the puck, and the puck's on the other end of the ice. It's not how it's supposed to be.
But then,
with
about 2 minutes left,
Big time Timmy Tim
got his first AHL goal. And it was great.
It was, and it was right in front of us.
Yes.
He was even on our side of the ice when he shot it in.
Oh, it was great. That was a neat experience.
Yeah, so the Griffins goalie made the initial save, but then the rebound came out. And big time Timmy Tim got it. And just like ripped it into the back of the net. He wound up for the slap shot and everything. He's like, this is going in.
It's my time.
It's like he did the Mitch thing without being Mitch.
Right?
So that was cool.
Yeah.
So we went to the intermission tied, and we had to go back to our seats. Up at center ice. From center ice. And then we scored again.
Hell yeah.
In the third period.
Who was it?
I don't remember.
Shit. Me either.
Doesn't matter.
But they did it.
They did the thing.
They did the thing.
Oh, it was Yoni, wasn't it? Or was it Yoni the night before? Was it Yoni on Friday?
I think it was Yoni on Friday.
Oh, whoops. Well, Yoni scored on Friday.
He scored at some point this weekend. Nobody gets past Yoni.
I just know it was either in the first or the third period because they were shooting to our left.
Yeah.
But somebody scored.
Yeah.
I was working so hard.
Was that the empty net goal?
No, that was the third goal.
Right.
So that was
because it ended up 4-1.
Was it?
Did it?
I think it was 3-1.
3-1.
I think it was 3.
3.
Yeah.
3. Because the empty net was the last one.
Yeah.
But they put the goalie back.
Yeah. Yeah, so Entwistle got the empty netter. I don't know who scored the middle goal.
Nope.
I was too busy getting all this coach stuff together to look and see who scored our goals this weekend.
I could be looking this up while we're talking.
You could, but you're not, and it's fine.
Though. Okay.
It's
we'll
fine.
Just go unknown.
The people
Somebody
know.
The people know.
Somebody knows.
The people know.
We're just talking into the void. They already know all this. We're just chilling.
Recap.
Yeah. But they finally won 2 in a row.
Hell yeah, they broke the curse.
And they looked good.
Now they're streaking a whole 2-game
Woo!
streak.
2 games streaking.
They play again on Tuesday.
They do.
Who are they playing?
Don't know.
Shit.
They're playing. I got this.
I got this.
They're playing Manitoba.
Oh, the
Meese. The Meese. The Isum.
The Isum.
The Isum. That's who they played the game I missed, right? When you were
correct
alone.
I believe
Not
so.
really. I mean, your brother was there.
They showed up at some point.
But I was not there. I was in Milwaukee.
Right.
So I don't think. Have I seen the Isum yet?
I think that was the only time they've played at home.
Yeah. So this is the first time I'm seeing the Isum. Mm-hmm. It's Taco Tuesday.
Taco Tuesday!
$2 tacos. We were going to go to a concert. We had the tickets.
Yeah.
But we're not going to do that.
We love our IceHogs too much.
Yeah, so we're doing that instead.
We left the game on Saturday, like, are we really going to
miss
the Tuesday
like,
game?
so what are we going to do about Tuesday? I didn't even realize there was a Hogs game on Tuesday.
Yeah. Did we buy the tickets before the schedule was released?
No.
No, we just
I just don't look. I just buy things.
Same.
And then I'm like, well, I'll figure out if we want to go.
Right.
I just don't want it to sell out before we decide.
Exactly.
I would try to sell them, but they're will call, and it's at Bottom Lounge, and they're weird about that. So
are they?
Yeah.
I feel like I've done it.
Oh, I don't know. I already deleted it off my phone.
Oh.
It's fine.
Alright, just chalk it up to a loss.
Yeah.
But they're gonna win on Tuesday for us!
Hell yeah. They gotta win on Taco Tuesday. Colin's in that. Tomorrow.
Yeah, he is.
Yeah. But it's Taco Tuesday.
But it's Taco Tuesday.
Colin likes his tacos. Maybe he'll play well for tacos.
He's gotta play for tacos.
I hope so, because Kevin got called up to Chicago.
Yeah, because Robin Lehner doesn't feel good.
He's got the flu. I think he finally got sick of his defense. He's sick of them.
Can you blame him?
No, I cannot.
Mm.
But in other Kevin news, he was nominated for the Finnish Sports Gala's Role Model of the Year award.
Oh, you're not going to try to say that word?
No, you're Hailugala. That just sounded like I was like gonna vomit or something.
You got possessed for a moment.
I did. I'm sure it sounds a lot more elegant in Finnish
than
your Hailugala. But yeah, he was nominated for the Role Model of the Year award because he promotes literacy to kids.
I love it. He's so pure.
He has his own book club on Facebook.
I love him so much.
I know, me too.
He's so precious.
And he got the first goalie call up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good.
I agree with it.
Yeah, absolutely.
I believe we said it earlier in the year that if there was going to be a call up, it should be Kevin. Stop laughing at my cat.
Why does she go down the stairs like that?
She's fat.
She's like a bunny rabbit and a turkey mixed together.
She's trying her best.
Buttercup, no.
But, yeah. So last year it was Colin that got the call-ups.
Yeah. Kevin deserves it.
He does. And King was saying that... Because they asked him about, like, the
ranking?
Sure. Let's go with that.
Let's call it that.
The ranking of the goaltenders to be called up, and he was talking about how Colin had it before, and he probably still does, but he hasn't played in a while.
Right, yeah, because his last game was on November 15th.
Yeah.
He hasn't played.
And they're trying to get him back to where they know he can be and playing well.
Good. Get me my goalie back.
They mentioned getting his mind clear.
Please.
I'm like, maybe I'm not insane. And I know what I'm talking about.
I mean, I like to think.
Yeah, me too. I just thought it was interesting that Kevin got the call. Even though I do agree with it, and we said it would happen. Yes. I thought it was interesting that it was him.
I agree.
And not Colin. But it was the right choice. Even though he's not even going to see the net, because...
No, he's just going to be a backup for, like, a night.
Well, good for him.
Yeah,
it's just a quick drive down 90 to Chicago.
Right. No. Can you imagine if they had called Colin up instead of him? That would just be a bad decision.
It would.
Like,
that would not be good player management.
No. Why would you...
No, because Kevin deserves it. And Tommy's not on an NHL deal. He's only on an AHL deal.
Stay here.
Yeah. And I don't think they have any contract room to sign him anyways, so...
They don't have any room at all. That's why. Yeah. Are we going to wait for that? Or
I mean, it's on the list, but we can get there. The Hawks, they're playing St. Louis tonight in, like, 6 minutes. And they have to dress
11 forwards and 6
defensemen. And at first I was like, what's wrong with that? Because it was really early in the morning and I hadn't had enough coffee. Well, I was like, wait a second.
That's not enough players.
That's supposed to be a 12, not an 11. But let's see. Strome is out. Mm-hmm. Kajula's out. Mm-hmm. And Shaw's out. Mm-hmm. Keith is out on defense.
Yes.
And they had to send McCoshen down to make room for Kevin to come up because they have 0 cap space.
Which is why they are stuck with 11 forwards, 6 defensemen.
So they will be shorthanded all night. Kane is going to get a lot of ice time tonight.
All of the ice. He's not going to leave the ice.
And they are playing the defending champs.
Fuck.
Tonight. Yeah, let me just scroll right on down here. Let's see. Yeah, they said Shaw was out because he's undergoing further evaluation.
What does that mean?
I don't know. There were rumors that he has a broken nose. I mean... But when has that ever kept a guy out of a hockey game?
And how many times has he broken his nose?
Exactly.
Like, this is not something new to him.
Right. Like, I could see it if we already had an extra forward. Mm-hmm. So, me thinks it's something more than just a broken nose. And if it is just a broken nose, I mean, whatever. They're going to lose anyway, so let him heal, I guess. But it was just weird that they didn't say what it was and that he was just undergoing further evaluation.
Because they've made a point to kind of be more specific about injuries. Like over the past season or two.
Right.
Like, before, they were like, upper body, lower body.
That was the most frustrating thing in the world.
Nothing
it's like, what happened?
Nothing you just know if it's above the belt or below the belt. That's it.
Yep.
But, no, they've been more specific the past couple seasons. And
my favorite was, I don't remember, it was either Bruce Boudreau, Bruce Boudreau or Daryl Sutter, I think. But they were asked, is it upper body or lower body? And he was like, it's just a body injury. I was like, you asshole. I can't stand either one of them either. I was like, that's just obnoxious.
I also have a body injury.
I am a body injury.
Exactly. Can you be more specific? No.
Yeah.
No, just body.
Some coaches just like to be dicks for the hell of it, and it drives me nuts. I would probably laugh if it was my coach, but if it's somebody that I already don't like, I'm like, why are you being mean? Yeah. So we'll see what's happening with Shaw there. Mm-hmm. Strome has been out with concussion protocol, but he was practicing this morning. He says he feels better. He's just not playing tonight. So,
which is for the best.
Especially against St. Louis.
Yeah.
Is Bortuzzo back yet?
I would hope not.
We talked about that last week, right?
Yes, we did.
I don't think they played 4 games yet.
I would hope not.
Yeah. But it is St. Louis still, so I would not chance that.
No. Mm-mm. Be careful with the concussions.
Yeah. and Taves is playing his 900th game tonight.
Okay.
He's the 10th Hawks player to do that.
Go you.
I wonder if he's actually going to play like he gives a fuck tonight, because
We'll
it's
see.
a milestone.
Yeah, I would hope so. I hope.
I hope so, but I
hope.
don't think he has anything left in his give a fuck meter.
That hurts.
It does.
Captain, do your
I-
thing.
Just want to know what it would take to trade him to Winnipeg.
Did we talk about Tyler getting the C?
No. No? Yes? Yes. Yes.
Did we?
No. I don't remember when it happened. I feel like we did.
Did that happen a whole week ago?
Yeah, because I feel like I would have at least put that in my notes. And it's not
so
there.
much has been happening.
I know.
lately.
I can't keep up.
I don't know what we've talked about.
I
and what
believe
may
we did
happen.
talk about that. If not, then Tyler Secure is
Tyler
the captain
Secure.
of the IceHogs now, since Versteeg left us. The league has just been such a shit show lately. It's hard to keep up with what happened when. Last week was Thanksgiving.
Oh God!
I know.
How?
I know. I was sitting in my kitchen making sweet potatoes while reading up on all this Bill Peters stuff and listening to the Dangle podcast. I was like, what is happening?
Oh, Lord.
Yeah. But I will read Taves' statement ahead of his 900th game. This is from Carter Baum. He tweeted this earlier today. Taves said, "It's special to hit certain marks. I don't think you ever go out there every single night thinking of it, unless you're Kaner and it happens every 20 games or something. I think you look at Siebes and Dunks and it doesn't feel like we've been here for that long. But then you look back to clips of the older years and, oh yeah, time has really flown by. It's special, and I think when you're going through the same routine almost every year and training camp, coming to the United Center, it's not that you take it for granted, but it does in some way become a routine. Every time you're able to hit a milestone like games played or points or whatever it is, it's definitely a moment to stop and say, hey, this is pretty special. You think, Cap? And I can be thankful for what I've been part of and what I've been given, especially playing here in Chicago for the fans and for this team." So that was his statement.
We did not talk about Tyler Secure.
We didn't? When was he named captain?
3 days ago.
Oh. That's right. It was like before the last game.
Yeah.
Oops.
Because he wore the C for the first time
Yeah,
with the purple jerseys
That's
on
what
Friday.
I meant, before Friday's game.
Yeah. Sorry.
Huh.
Anyway, we can finish talking about
I must just
things.
not have liked it on Twitter. I must have just retweeted it. But yeah, Secure is the captain of the IceHogs now.
Yeah, the Tyler one.
Yeah. Right. Not his brother.
Not the Dylan one, the Tyler one.
Not the Dill. I thought that was a good choice.
Yeah, oh, for sure. I don't know who I would name over him. I mean...
Nobody, really.
No. Highmore still has the A, but he keeps getting called up and down,
Right.
so...
Maybe Moutry?
Yeah.
But I don't know if he's really a leader or if he's more of like a cheerleader. Because we're not in the locker room. We don't know if he
Right.
gets
The way he supports
pumped
his
up.
boys on the ice, though,
Yes. He's
I fucking
definitely
love it.
at least a cheerleader.
Yes, and I love it more than anything.
Yeah.
Seeing him be so happy with all
Yeah.
of my boys, just...
And I don't know if it's the beard or what, but I get major dad vibes from Makashin. So I could
Little
see
beard?
him, yeah. I could see him being like the dad of the team, but he's still so new.
Very
I wouldn't
new.
have given him the C. And plus he
Absolutely
was in
not.
Chicago when Tyler got named captain.
Yeah, but he got sent down when Kevin got called up.
Correct, because of cap space.
You know.
Yeah.
We are all over the place. I am so sorry, that is my fault.
No, you're fine. I can't believe I didn't put that in my notes. But aside from that, I don't really know who else I would name captain. I can't think of anybody. Maybe somebody on defense. But again, we don't really know who's
Right.
a leader, and it seems like Tyler is. He just has the personality for it.
I support the decision
Me too.
wholeheartedly.
Especially the way he's bounced back with his game this year after being injured last season.
He was the unsung hero last season.
Right, which I didn't agree with because he really didn't play all that well after coming back from injury.
Yeah, the injury kind of messed him up.
It did. I'm really glad he's bounced back this year.
Yes.
Though, because the year before that, I really liked Tyler.
Mm-hmm. He got some award that year. I don't remember.
I don't
think it was MVP, wasn't it?
It might have been, yeah.
I think it was MVP the season before last.
I don't recall.
And then he got Unsung Hero last year, and this year he's the captain.
So obviously he's well liked in the locker room.
Yeah, what a nice story arc.
Yeah. It's funny, I was checking the stats on the AHL app, and I don't think they were totally updated because they didn't have the goals from that night on there, but Tyler and Dylan had the same amount of points. Like, they both had 5 goals, 8 assists for 13 points. They've both been killing it.
Yeah.
I just thought it was funny they had matching stat lines.
Yes.
It's probably different now, but I thought that was pretty funny. But yeah, tonight is Taves' 900th game, and I hope he actually takes a moment to be like, wow, I'm the captain of the Chicago Blackhawks.
Be amazing.
Maybe I should play like I give a shit about this team.
He absolutely should. And
not just be negative.
You make a lot of money. You are the captain of one of the original 6 teams.
Yep.
You need to step it back up, buddy.
Yes.
Like, it's not acceptable to be playing the way you've been playing and saying all of the negative shit that you've been saying.
Right, and not owning up to you playing like shit.
Right.
So, since we're on this topic, we'll just go backwards. I was going to start with the Dallas game and just do it in order, but we jumped ahead to tonight, so we'll go backwards.
Okay.
So, on Saturday? Yeah.
What happened Saturday?
They played Colorado.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
I mean, I loosely define played Colorado. They faced off against Colorado, and Robin Lehner started in net because Corey started the night before.
Correct.
And he gave up 5 goals before halfway through the game. Yeah. So he got pulled, and Corey came in, and Lehner was mad. And
Can you blame him?
No, not at all. And he yelled at the bench. And we're never going to know what he said. I would really love to know what he said. I just want to
know.
I would really love to know what he said. But he was angry. And, I mean, good for him. It was weird because during the intermission shows, the guys on there were like, maybe that should be reserved for, like, in private, like, keep it in the locker room. I'm like, fuck that!
Yelling?
These
No.
guys have been playing like shit all season,
Yeah.
and the goaltenders and Kane are the only ones
Saving
carrying
their
this
lives,
team. So if anybody has a right to call out their players on the ice, it's our goaltenders.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So, I don't know, he
Why
sees
are you
something
panicking?
outside. He probably sees the raccoon that's outside. We have a neighborhood
Get him,
raccoon.
baby.
So, yeah, Lehner was yelling at the bench when he got pulled. Him and Corey had a nice little exchange, like little pad taps with their sticks.
Yeah.
And as Lehner walked into the locker room, the player on the end of the bench closest to him was Captain Taves. And he didn't even look at him.
Nah.
Didn't say anything to him.
Didn't even make a face. Completely unfazed.
Yeah. Just like he was trying to ignore him.
Totally
I'm like,
him out.
Really? Really?
I've got some feels about that.
You're the captain. Your goalie just got pulled because you guys are playing like shit in front of him.
Mm-hmm.
He's been carrying your ass all season.
Yep.
There's no way this guy probably wants to sign another contract in Chicago.
I know I wouldn't.
Right. And you're not even going to be like... Sorry or give him a tap on the pads.
Right.
Or anything.
Anything.
Like, yeah, when Robin's mad, you kind of want to stay out of his way.
Oh,
but,
for sure. I'd be scared of him.
Yeah, at least,
but,
like, give him a pat on the pads or
look
on the helmet.
at him.
Yeah.
Anything.
Make eye contact.
Acknowledge him.
No. He didn't. He just, like, stared off into space. And didn't say a damn word. I don't know that he even talked to the media after I didn't see any quotes from him. From Taves.
I did either.
And he wasn't on the post-game show because I watched it to see the interviews. And they didn't interview Taves.
I don't know if I would rather him not say anything or keep up the negative bullshit that he's been spewing.
Right, but I feel like they need to keep sticking him in front of the media. I mean, he's the captain
right,
of the team.
Yeah.
And it's not like the media's going to throw hardballs at him. They're, like, notorious for lobbing softballs at the players.
Right.
So, I have qualms with our captain. But there were 3 guys that did talk to the media. One was Cat because he got in a fight with Sam Girard.
He did.
And so he was talking about that and said, I was frustrated, just missed an empty net a few seconds before. Girard went into the corner and gave me a little hit, and I was just frustrated. Just kind of happened.
And I saw a bunch of people saying that was such like a softy fight.
No.
Cat landed a decent.
Both of them did.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're both smaller guys, but they
small.
were throwing.
Yeah, man. Like, I saw something go flying when Cat landed that one.
I don't know if a tooth
popped
out.
Or blood or what it was.
Something popped out.
Something definitely went flying.
Yeah.
It was not a softy fight.
No.
I don't know why people, like...
Just because they're smaller,
I
guess?
You can't chalk it up just to being short.
I know.
These dudes are still...
Yes. Rather strong.
Yes!
And then, the guy who should be our captain talked to the media, which is Patrick Kane, and said, I wasn't very good tonight. He scored a goal. So I've got to be better going into the next game. Obviously, huge game against St. Louis coming up at home. Stanley Cup champs coming into our building. I've got to be better for us. So he owns up to not being good, even though he's been our best
15 game point streak.
Yeah.
And he's not being good
And he
enough.
says he needs to be better. And it was kind of funny because I was watching it and the media people were like, well, what do you need to do to be better? And he was kind of like, It's like he didn't want to answer it, but he did. Because instead of calling out the rest of his team, he put it on himself.
Right, as a captain does.
Right.
Or should do.
Yeah. But he was saying, like, he needs to play better two-way game, play better in his end of the ice, and stuff like that. So if he can own up to not playing well, even though he's on a 15-game point streak, and captain excuses can't say anything but being negative, calling out the refs, or anything.
The refs, the coaches.
Yeah.
On that note, I am sick of people saying that Colleton needs to be fired.
Who are they going to hire?
Not only that, why would you blame this all on coaching?
You can't.
This roster.
And I have definitely been on the record as doubting Jeremy.
Oh, for sure. And I don't think he's a god or anything.
No, and it's not like he gets a full pass.
No.
And obviously that's not what you were saying. I'm just clarifying.
Right.
He doesn't get a full pass here. But there is no excuse for this roster playing the way that they are.
Absolutely not. And I'm sick of people writing Jeremy off because of his age.
Right.
Like, just because
Sheldon Keefe's young, too.
Yeah.
And look how that's going in Toronto.
It's a new wave of coaches coming in. You can't just keep hiring the old guys.
Right.
Like, it's gonna happen. It's happening here. This is not his fault.
Right.
He's made some questionable choices. Sure, every coach does.
Every coach does. And things were looking up last season, and he was also the coach then.
Ta-da.
So...
But it's been relentless. Every time they lose a game, everybody's like, fuck this, Colleton's no good. Like,
I mean, ever since Q got fired, people have wanted him to fail.
Yes. Because nobody wanted him to do well.
No. Because everybody wanted to keep Q. And I'm like, are you blind? Yes. Q was a fantastic coach here in Chicago.
Yeah,
there is no writing off what he did.
NHL wins?
Yes. And by all accounts, he's a great guy.
Absolutely.
And
as far as we know.
Going off of what we've heard from all these other coaches, that's saying a lot, apparently, just being a good person. Yeah, and obviously he brought 3 championships to Chicago, but everybody has an expiration date.
Right. You lose a team sometimes.
Yeah, the message just gets old. It happens.
Exactly, it gets stale. You need something fresh.
You need to shake it up. And that's what they're trying to do, and Captain Pissy Pants over here just can't get over himself. And then you have Seabrook, who gets benched, and he throws a little bitch fit about it, even though he was playing like shit, and still isn't playing great, but he's getting reduced minutes, so he looks serviceable. It's ridiculous, and both of those guys wear letters.
Yeah.
Siebes is an alternate captain, and Taves is Captain Pissy Pants. So... the only guy wearing a letter now that's doing anything, even though he's injured now, is Keith.
Right.
Because I've had my complaints about him at the beginning of the season,
it's
but...
a groin injury, right?
Yes. But he's definitely picked it up. Oh, good. The Blues scored first.
Jesus.
Yeah. We're losing 2.5 minutes into the game.
Great.
Yeah. But yeah, Keith has looked a lot better, and he's one of the only players on defense who's actually skating.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, I don't know. I just wish all of the other guys could step up. Oh gosh, what happened?
We got some more on Marc Crawford.
Oh boy.
Who
was it?
Brent Sopel.
Yeah, he's never liked him. What'd he say?
Well, let me read you the quote.
Okay.
Here we go. I think it was my 3rd or 4th training camp. I'm in Ottawa. We'd played in an exhibition game. Marc Crawford is our coach at this time. He pulls me in and he says, Soaps, we're sending you down. You're a pussy. You don't fight. You don't hit. You don't skate. You don't shoot. You're a pussy. You do fucking nothing out here, so we're sending you to the minors. He said, you're terrible. You do nothing. You don't shoot hard. You don't skate hard. You don't pass hard. You do absolutely nothing. You have no hope of an NHL career, so you're headed off to the minors. See you later. No joke. I thought the NHL was no hope after that meeting. Crow and I had a love-hate relationship. We had more fuck you matches on the bench and in the dressing room than I've ever heard. He came after me all the time. Whitney, I guess, was the one conducting.
Whitney?
Sure, it just says Whitney.
Oh.
Whitney says, is it true he would go up and down the bench and kick guys? Sopel said, he kicked me, he choked me, he grabbed the back of my jersey and pulled me back. He attacked guys personally. He came up 1 year after the season. He's like, Soaps, you need to work hard. You need to gain 15 to 20 pounds. So I left there, went home, hit the diet, hit the weights, put on 20 pounds of muscle. I came back here and he's yelling at the bench. What are you, fucking Hercules now? Are you turning green? Are you the Hulk? Just screaming at me. He suspended me for I think it was 6 weeks. He wouldn't let me play. Only in practice. He bag skated me, and I have to step on a scale every single day to see what my weight loss was before he'd let me play. For whatever reason, he kept putting me out there. I probably played close to 500 games in my career for him. So as much as I hated him, for whatever reason, there was something he liked about me.
What the fuck?
Wow.
Ugh.
And that was tweeted out by Dan Carcillo.
Yeah. Again, none of this is new because it's been known about Brent Sopel's relationship with Marc Crawford. But just every time I hear about it,
yeah.
Why is he employed? Why is he employed by our team?
Mm-hmm. Anyway.
Yep.
Moving on.
Yeah. So another guy who spoke to the media after that beatdown in Colorado on Saturday was the goalie that got pulled.
Robin Lehner.
I was actually surprised by that.
That he spoke?
Yeah, I feel like a lot of goalies that get pulled don't talk to the media after that game.
I feel like Robin will always talk.
Probably, but...
And I appreciate him for it.
Oh, yeah, for sure. But he was asked about yelling at the bench, and he said, I probably did, and it's probably rightfully so. It's nothing personal. If we weren't good enough, I wouldn't care. That's not what it is. We've shown that we can play. We have to decide to play the right way all the time. It's just time to look ourselves in the mirror and do the right thing. It's what it's all about. It's on us as players to do the right thing. And I just wish that goalies could be captain, but they cannot. Mm-hmm. But I wish they could, because I feel like at this point in the season, the team would respect him a hell of a lot more than Captain Pissy Pants.
Yeah.
Ugh! I just have such qualms with our quote-unquote captain.
Mm-hmm.
And then Friday night wasn't any better. They lost 5-2 to Colorado. That was with Corey and net. And before that, they were doing great.
Of course
like the whole month of November. So Ben Pope tweeted out before that game, I think it was the 26th, he tweeted this. Said the Blackhawks team save percentage over the past 15 games, not a small sample size at all, is now .939. For the season overall, Lehner leads the NHL with a .938. Crawford ranks 12th with a .920. That's a heck of a duo. And then they go into this weekend and get demolished by Colorado. And that's what this team is. Because if our goalies aren't playing in God mode, then we are going to get lit up for 5 or 7 goals.
May I interject again?
Yes.
Blackhawks announced Marc Crawford will be away from the organization and investigated for his conduct.
Oh, shit!
57 minutes ago.
Damn!
All right.
I obviously haven't been checking my phone very intently since this has gone on. I just saw that they got scored on
that
first.
That was also Ben Pope.
I don't know if I get notifications for him.
I don't, but I do for Satchel Price, and they retweeted it.
Gotcha. Oh shit, they're actually doing something?
Doing something!
I can't believe it! I mean, they have to. They have to.
Yeah.
They have to. If it wasn't the current state of this media storm of the NHL now with all these other coaches being called out, maybe they wouldn't. But...
Oh, the Hawks tweeted about it too.
Oh, did they?
Yeah. The Chicago Blackhawks will be conducting a thorough review of assistant coach Marc Crawford based on the recent allegations that have been made regarding his conduct with another organization. Marc Crawford will be away from the team during this time, and the organization will have no further comment until completion of the review.
I want to know if it's Sopel's allegations or Avery's, because the Sopel allegations aren't new.
Mm-hmm.
So, new allegations is a load of shit, because I've definitely heard that before.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm glad they're doing something now, even though they knew all of this before.
Mm-hmm.
You'd have to know all of this before. It's not secret
not
knowledge,
yeah.
and they still hired him in the off-season. So the Blackhawks are still broken, clearly. The IceHogs are on an upward path.
Hell yeah.
We have Colin in net tomorrow. I hope he wins for Taco Tuesday and for his own sanity.
For his own sanity. Please, he needs it.
Please.
He needs a win.
And I feel like we need to end this before anything else breaks and before I lose my mind anymore. And hopefully we can talk more about our teams next week.
Please.
And I hope...
They're good things?
I said it last week. I don't even know if I can say it again this week, that I hope...
No, because the whole Bill Peters thing happened here.
Yeah.
That was our team.
It was. Granted, apparently they didn't know about it.
Sure.
Apparently they didn't know. But that also says a lot about the team, that they don't know what's going on with their minor league affiliate.
Right. When did we become affiliates? It was
07?
07, right? Yeah.
I believe so. So it was 2 or 3 years after.
Okay.
They should have some sort of system in place to evaluate their coaching staff. I don't know if they even still do, clearly, but I don't know. The Hogs have been playing better lately, so I will reserve my comments on Derek King and hope that he's getting used to the team.
Yes.
And they are getting used to him.
Yes.
And they are buying into Tyler as their new captain.
Yes.
And I am just glad that we have our IceHogs, because the Blackhawks... Yeah.
Yeah.
That's about it.
Yeah.
So until next week, I hope you all keep your sanity. We will try to. Can't guarantee that, because something new keeps coming out every day. But try your best to keep your sanity. Yes. And let's hope the Hogs win tomorrow.
Hell yeah.